guys, it's Mary. Welcome to Fritzy Family. If you're not part of the Fritzy family, then just hit the subscribe button below. What I'm going to do today is compare the Zoeva brushes that I bought from the Zoeva website for my birthday from my husband. That was a mouthful. To fake ones purchased off of a website called wish.com. We were both kind of curious, so they look kind of like him on the website. I'm going to take my real Zoeva brushes and I'm going to show you the inferior product and how to spot whether or not you have real Zoeva brushes. Of course, you could always go to Zoeva's website and purchase them, and then you'll know for sure. Before we begin, guys, I want to give you just a tiny little bit of background on Zoeva, which you might not know, but they also have makeup, not just brushes. I didn't realize that until I actually went to the website to order. So the company started back in 2008. It's a German-based company, and the owner's name is Zoe Boykow. Now, if I'm saying her name wrong, I am so sorry. While she's in Germany, she discovers that there's really no brushes there that she likes, that she thinks are any good, so she's going to start her own line. The name of the company then, Zoeva, comes from a breakdown of her name Zoe, which in Greek means life, and Eva, which is supposed to be a translation of the word woman, the first woman actually, Eve. And so Zoeva means the life of a woman. The brush line is vegan and cruelty-free. There are some brushes in here, a lot of brushes in here that are a mixture of goat hair and vegan Taklon synthetic bristles, which are painter's quality bristles. Now, the goats then, I guess I read somewhere in all of my looking stuff up that they take like at a certain time of year when they are clipping these goats, this hair from these brushes comes from behind the ear of these goats. They take great care in making sure that their bristles for their brushes are the absolute best that they can do. They have 30 steps in the process of making these brushes, and the handles alone, which I actually looked up because the Zoeva handle feels really sleek, and you're like, is this plastic or is this wood? So I looked it up. Turns out it is genuine wood, and there are 6 coats on here, and that's why this feels the way it does. It absolutely feels luxurious in your hand. So obviously I'm holding one up. You can see already then that what I decided and chose was the rose gold eye set. Almost every brush I have is black with a silver ferrule and black bristles or white bristles. I wanted to be able to identify the Zoevas. Just, you know, that's a Zoeva brush. Zoeva says that their brushes are designed with passion, handmade with love, and that every brush is a unique piece of art. And I would have to agree with that. It feels luxurious and like a piece of art. And you know what the best part about this is? These brushes are so affordable. My brushes cost me $86, and they came from the US version of the Zoeva website. I've used them quite a bit. I've washed them quite a bit. They will absolutely not shed. They are wonderful brushes, and I want to tell you all about them.
Somebody once told me that the best way to spot a counterfeit is to study the real thing very closely. So right now we're going to take a look at the differences between the fake and the real Zoeva bag.
First, let's talk about the bags. Can you tell just from this distance and just looking at them which one is the real Zoeva bag? If you said this one, then you would be correct. This is the real Zoeva bag. The real Zoeva bag is a pink champagne-y kind of color that when you turn it in the light is rose gold and bronze and all beautiful goodness. This bag is a flat color of pink. They both have the pebble look on the outside, but this one here is flat. It feels like plastic. This feels soft and luxurious. I'll tell you what, if there's anything that you look at and you say, I can't tell, it would be these round logos right here. These look identical. The only difference between them that I could tell, and I studied them really hard, is that this bag came with a plastic cover over this, protecting it. Okay, but let's talk about the zipper. On the real Zoeva bag, if you look at the hardware that's connecting the logo to the bag for the zipper, it is a round, sturdy, rose gold piece of metal. The zipper glides across with no problem, just like a well-made purse. At the top, these come all the way to the end. The stitching on the top of the bag is little, and it's the same color as the bag itself. On the fake, if you look, the hardware that is connecting it is just a clamp. It's not a circle. And it's not put together very well either. I don't know if you can tell that or not. Notice the stitching here. That is not the same as this one. See the difference in the stitching? The zipper on the fake bag gets stuck. You have to pull hard and it gets stuck. Then inside the bag, the collar is different. First, let's talk about the stitching, since we were just talking about that. It is big stitching, and the inside of this bag is more of a goldy color. On the real Zoeva bag, the inside is kind of a pink gold color. Can you see the difference? Inside this bag, about halfway down the bag, is the words Color, Love, Makeup, with a period after it. But it's just printed on the inside of the bag, and the color is, I don't know what color that is. On the real Zoeva bag, about an inch down comes the words Color, period, Love, period, Makeup. And there is a definite goldish color to the letters, and when you run your finger over them, they're raised. So you can see. See, that looks much different, doesn't it? It doesn't come down as far. On the fake bag, the corners are irregular. You see how it's small over here and big over here? They are perfectly symmetrical on the real Zoeva bag. Now I'm going to turn the bag inside out. The stitching on the inside of the bag is very small. Matches the inside. This is silky feeling. On the inside of the counterfeit, see the big stitching on there? Incidentally, most purses that are counterfeit, you can also, a dead giveaway is the stitching. On the inside of the bags then is a plastic tag. And on one side of the tag it says, made in P period R period C period for Zoeva. And on this side it says shell PU. Okay, and then lining polyester. On this bag, the one side is the same. On this side it says shell PVC. Probably the fastest though and the biggest tell on the bag is right on the front. Besides the material that it's all made of, the logo itself. On the front of the real bag, this is not glued on. You see how this is like stamped in there? The material is coming through the letters. And if you turn it this way, you'll see it's flush. No jagged edges. I think this is metal.
Let's put it this way. If it's not metal, it's high quality plastic. It reflects.
On the fake bag though, quite a big difference. I think this is plastic now. Sounds like plastic. And it's glued on. You see how it doesn't, the material isn't, it's not like stamped in there? And if you turn it like this, you can see that it's glued on. This is one good pull away from pulling off there. On the edges, it's jagged. So that's the bag.
This close-up gives a good view of the material, the logo, the stitching. Note the differences on these two. The bottom is Zoeva. A close-up of the real Zoeva logo shows that while being pressed into the bag, it also sits on top of it, and the metal reflects the material it's on. This is obviously not true of the counterfeit. This is just a horribly made piece of plastic glued to the front, and even the paint on it is all jaggy and nasty looking. Adding insult to injury, let's look at brushes. You guys can play along and see if you can spot the fakes.
I know that you can do it. You're smart like that.
By the way, all of these are Luxe brushes. They're just rose gold. Okay, so I'm not going to say Luxe at the beginning of each one of these. Just know that all of them are from the Luxe series. The first two that I'm going to start off with are two brushes that don't come in the set, but I wanted, so I purchased them. Hey, that's smart business, right? Don't put these two brushes in there. That way somebody like me will purchase them on their own. Can't fault them for that. I need a smudger brush. So the first brush is the 226 smudger. Here it is right here. Okay, so the smudger brush retails for $11.50. It's vegan Taclon synthetic fibers. This thing is perfect to smoke out underneath your eyes. Must be that brushes have many uses, and if the right brushes are dirty, I have been known to use a smudger brush to put shadow down on, as a shader, to put it down on my eyelid. Use it for concealer. I use a smudge brush all the time for a lot of different things. 317 wing liner. All right, so the wing liner brush retails for $9. This brush is also a vegan Taclon. One glide stroke, you can do a wing liner. You guys know I don't do wing liner. I use it with shadow. I do this a lot. I don't wing out my top. What I do is I come along my bottom and I'll draw a little kitten up there with shadow. But just for the sake of knowing, I went and bought a gel eyeliner because this thing's supposed to take gel or liquid, either one, and just... and you got yourself a wing. And I did it. I don't do that. So I think if I did that with no problem, it's a pretty good brush. So those two are out of the way. So next I want to talk about two brushes that are not included in the counterfeit set. Yeah, they didn't even see it necessary to include these two. And I think that's probably alarms going off. We got two brushes that aren't even in there. One of them is pretty essential, and that would be the shader. Okay, so this then is the 232 Classic Shader. So the Classic Shader then retails for $11.50. It's made of a combination of goat and synthetic Taclon vegan bristles. It is perfect for packing down pigments and eyeshadows on your lid. This is a perfect size and feel and weighted. These brushes are all balanced. So this is a perfect shader brush. And the other brush that they decided to just flat throw out and not even include in their counterfeit set was the number 227 Soft Definer brush. Okay, so the Soft Definer brush then is very soft. It retails for $11.50 and it is made up of natural and synthetic hair blends. The brush really is soft and it's really good about doing a transition. Now we're going to compare the counterfeit brushes to the real brushes. And we're going to start off with the number 325 Brow Light. It and another brush were right neck and neck with each other as being a, yep, that's not real. I mean, they are so obvious, it's pathetic. So the brush then that I'm talking about is this one here. This is the real one. By the way, this only comes in the rose gold one, only comes in the set. So here it is, as a close-up. It retails for $11.50. It's a natural synthetic blend. You use this brush to put powder, highlighters, or whatever you like under your brow bone. I first laughed at this brush. I was like, really? We made a brush just to put highlight underneath my brow bone. But I'm not laughing anymore. This brush is really good. I always take and clean up my brows with a concealer, and this brush is really good about spreading that concealer out perfectly. I love this brush. But here's the counterfeit one. Now, you might be saying, yeah, it kind of looks the same to me, but no, let's compare them side by side. And you're going to find that this is pretty much true throughout the entire series, so I won't point out all along the way, for sake of time, the exact differences between the two. Can you see the difference? So the real one is compact, it's dense. It feels so soft. The fraud is the bristles are very much longer. They're not dense at all. This is just really fluffy. It's synthetic. Let's talk about how the brushes are built. So, as you can see, the fake one is quite a bit shorter than the real ones. They have a different feel that you would never notice unless you were holding a real one in your hand. You would never notice the difference in the way this feels. I think that's plastic, but this is wood with 6 coats of this very sleek paint on it. On the real brush, the Zoeva is in gold letters, and it's stamped in. You can feel that it's stamped in along with what it says on the brush. On the fake brush, it's just, I mean, you can, I'll try and show these in pictures because this isn't showing up very well. The letters are even starting to come off. This isn't embossed, it's just painted on there.
Bottom brush is the fake. It has never even been washed. It's just been handled. It's just painted. The top brush is the Zoeva, and it's imprinted in, has been washed multiple times, and still looks great.
The biggest tell is the ferrule. All right, Zoeva spends a lot of time on their ferrules. The ferrules of a Zoeva brush, if you just want to look down and go, that's the fake, 2 things give it away. One, I don't know if this is picking it up or not, but the Zoeva brush is a pinkish color on the handle, and the fake one is more of a yellowish cast to it. And I don't know if these lights are picking up that difference or not. The second thing is immediately you can tell by the ferrule. On the real Zoeva brush, look at the ferrule here. The ferrule, oh my gosh, this is so smooth too. It's seamless. It's just the way they crimp this all together, it's just seamless, so sleek. You would never catch your finger on this. This butts up against here and it's perfect. There's a distinct difference in this ferrule and this ferrule.
I think it's quite obvious that the real Zoeva brush is the one on the top. Do you see what I mean about the ferrule?
Now, if you take your hand and go like this, ow, on any, ouch, you can actually cut yourself. This is sharp. This is a smooth transition. This is not. Your fingers can feel the metal on this. They're not, these brushes aren't even straight. The real Zoeva's brushes are crimped at the bristles so that if you pull them back, no water's getting in there. These brushes have been washed, I can't tell you how many times now, because I use them all the time. And, you know, I will spot clean them, but I've cleaned them a few times now already, and I've not shed any bristles at all. They still feel the same as the day I got them. I'm afraid to wash these because I'm afraid that they're going to fall apart, and I'm sure Kristen doesn't even want them. But I'm pretty certain that you're going to shed some stuff. Look at this. Can you see down in that ferrule? Nails. Look at that. The ferrules on the real ones are made of a resistant brass, and these are just some metal that is probably, I don't know what. It's really cheap. So if you bought the counterfeit set and you had this, I can't believe you wouldn't know that it was counterfeit just by the way it was put together.
The differences in these brushes is consistent throughout the entire set. So look at the top brush. That is the Zoeva. Look how beautiful and sleek that thing is. The ferrule on it is absolute perfection. The handle is a slight pink. It has its letters stamped into it in gold paint so that it won't wear off. That counterfeit is nothing like it. It's not even been used. And look at the handle. It's a yellowish color. The writing is all coming off just from holding it and examining it. And there's just really no comparison between the two.
That's the main differences that I pointed out. So now we'll just go brush by brush. The next brush we're going to talk about is the number 142 Concealer Buffer. This is a perfect concealer brush. Here they are right next to each other. And I've already given it away so you know which one's fake and which one's the real one. The 142 Concealer Buffer brush retails for $13.50 and it is made of vegan Teflon synthetic fiber. If you want this brush in rose gold, then you have to buy it in the set. It's densely packed, not like this one. The next brush, which is the contour shader. Can you tell which brush is the Zoeva? If you said that this brush is the Zoeva, then you would be right. Notice the differences between the two brushes. So the contour shader retails for $11.50. Also, it is not sold outside of the set. You would have to go for the black handled version if you wanted it. It's made of the vegan Teflon. It's stiff with give. It's a nice brush. You've seen me tout this brush as being one of my favorite Beauty Junkie brushes to do the outer V. I like taking this brush and just going, just turning it. This brush is really good at doing a contour shade. Coming out of the gate next is the number 322 Brow Line. Can you tell which brush is the real brush? If you said this one, then you are correct. It retails for $11.50. It's made of vegan Teflon natural bristles. It's perfect for putting on your brows or even carving out your brows. The next brush that we're going to talk about is the number 231 Petite Crease. It retails for $11.50. It's a natural synthetic hair blend. It's perfect to contour the eye. This is the real brush here. Look at the tops. Now this one here is just perfect for getting into the crease and blending it out. Next is the soft crease brush. You're getting good at this, I know you are. Which one's real? It's this one. Did you guess right? Okay, well, this brush retails for $11.50, and this is it's got a curved head on it, and it is a blend between the natural and the synthetic mix. It does a really good job of ombreing out a shadow. There you go. So you start with it dark and just blend it up into oblivion with this brush. Love the soft crease brush. Come on. Here we go. This is the actual crease brush. And as you can see by looking at the real one, which one is it? You're so good. You're right. It's this one right here. Okay, so this one here is tapered. It's so nice. It's domed up at the top. This is your blending brush. Did I mention that all these brushes are perfectly balanced? These are so wonderful to hold in your hand. Whether you're holding it all the way back here or you come up on the ferrule itself, these are a joy to hold and work in your hand. This brush retails for $11.50. It's a natural synthetic blend. And you can perfectly blend out your eyeshadow with this brush in the crease. Now I want to show you the Zoeva crease brushes all together. Okay, so you can see a distinct difference between these three crease brushes of Zoeva's. right? So this one here would be your petite. You see that, right? This is the blending, and this is the soft crease. They look different from each other. Here are those same brushes in the counterfeit. One of them looks a little bit different. Next in the lineup comes the pencil brush. But I have faith in you. You can do it. Which one is the fake brush? If you said this brush, this bent up ferrule brush was fake, you would be right. It's stiff, just like it should be, but it has the proper amount of give.
Don't I just describe things perfect? Zoeva wants to hire me, by the way. That's a total lie. They don't know who I am.
So this is the 230. It retails for $11.50. It's a natural synthetic hair mix. And I think this is really why they don't include the smudger, because you can use this as a smudger. A lot of people use a pencil brush as a smudger. I will use a pencil brush sometimes to cut a crease. You know, if I'm not really wanting a thin lined cut, I do smudge with it. There's a lot of things you can do with a pencil brush. You can cover up zits with it. I like the pencil brush. Pencil brush should be in every brush set, and Zoeva includes it. Remember what I taught you. Look at your ferrules. That's right. It's this one. So this brush, it retails for $11.50, and you may not think you need this brush, but you really do, because a lot of times you'll want to do things like come into the corner of your eye and work that in the tear duct area without getting too ridiculous. Sometimes I use a pencil brush to just get it over with really quick, but it always comes out better if I take my time with a precise shader brush. It's just a really nice brush to have. And so I think Zoeva did a really good job putting this brush in the set, because this is one of those brushes that you never know you needed it until you used it. Incidentally, the rose gold precise shader is not sold separately. So if you want it in rose gold, you have to get it in the set. And the last brush is the 310 Spot Liner. Okay guys, look at him up close. Which one is the fake? If you said it was this one, you're right. And I think it is probably the smallest bristled brush in the whole darn world. And what would you use something that small for? First of all, let's get rid of that one. And let's just talk about this one. So this one retails for $9.80. It is the synthetic vegan Taclon fiber. And you're probably asking yourself, what? This is a brush I would never buy until you use it. I'm serious. Okay, so if you want just the tiniest bit of a highlight in the corner of your eye, this one will get it. But what this thing is so good for, and I've used it in my eyebrows before to make little hairs, but that's not what it's for. So what this thing is for is to come into your lash line, and you can get in there and make your lashes look so lush and thick, taking this tiny little brush and coming in between the lashes with shadow. This is a brush that after you've used it, you will say, where is that little brush? That little brush I thought I never wanted? Yeah, they were brilliant putting that in the set, because this may be a brush that you looked at and said, I'm not buying that. I'm not paying $9.80 for 4 hairs. No, it has more than that, but you see what I'm saying. I love my Zoeva brushes. I'm so glad that I have them. I think that you would love having these brushes too. I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't. That is my Zoeva Rose Gold Eye Brushes video. It's about a lot of stuff, huh? Don't buy junk. Buy the real thing. And also, you'll want to go ahead and ring my bell. That way, you're notified of every single video I make as soon as I release it. It comes to your email. If you're not having a blessed day, please go out and be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya. Bye. And I'm out.
That way you're notified every single time that I release a video by via your email. By via. Viva Las Vegas. I don't know why that popped in my head. Okay, but everything here is authentic. Right? I am authentic. I'm a real person, see? Ow. You're gonna get red marks. That's gonna leave a mark. Zoeva itself. On the real bag, Zoeva is it's imprinted, embossed. It's like, what do you call it? What word am I looking for? La 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 la. It's embossed. It's something. Stamped. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. This brush makes it easy breezy to just go ahead and wing out your liner, and it's just wonderful. Hello? Huh? I know I keep doing that. It's CoverGirl. I'm sorry. Please don't sue me. It's okay, I won't do it anymore. That was CoverGirl. They want me to stop saying easy breezy when describing other products besides theirs. Really? So, we're throwing Zobos. Get it? We're not throwing elbows, we're throwing Zobos. Sorry. Sometimes I can't help myself. They just ignored these two altogether, so there's a clue for you. Here's your sign. Hey, Bill Engvall, if you're watching, I love you. I can't show you from this angle. Woohoo, Pinocchio! I've got a wooden nose. Keeps on growing. 3 of these things are just alike. 3 of these things, there is no change. If you can guess which of these brushes are different. You know that's not how that Sesame Street song goes. That's not what it's for. It is to get in the lash line. Ow, I just poked myself in the eye with this thing. It's a good thing it wasn't the fake, or the ferrule would have cut my eye. That is my Zoeva. Oh my gosh, I put those in my coffee. I mean, we got 2 mugs. This mug holds my Zoeva brushes. This mug is for my coffee. I set these brushes down in there and these brushes down in there. I'm dripping coffee everywhere. Gosh dang, world's greatest primer.